If you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, be sure to check them out on my channel. They're also linked in my description box. Today, we're going to be discussing the last 8 episodes of Sex and the City. Mostly we're just going to focus on what happens and why most people couldn't love the ending. And even talk about some of my opinions I originally had, like in the other videos, that have changed. Let's get started.
Kiara loves TV. Yes, I made a theme song so that I can talk about all my favorite shows. Oh yeah.
And this is just your disclaimer that this is not me talking about any of the actors themselves, but more so their characters. Please do not attack me in the comments. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, even those who disagree with me. But let's keep it friendly. All right, let's get started with the show. This portion of the Sex and the City series is called 6B. There were 8 episodes, and the original Sex and the City ended February 22nd, 2004. In episode 13, aka episode 1 of 6B, Miranda and Steve run into Robert after the breakup. I just love how in love Miranda is with Steve, but yikes on the elevator scene. In the comment section of my last video, I saw a lot of you guys saying that Miranda really fumbled the bag with Robert, and I agree, she really did, because he was the whole package. I think she got back together with Steve because there was like some real chemistry there, but as far as like on paper, as they've discussed a lot in this show, on paper, Robert was like the perfect catch. I noticed Andy Cohen is in this episode helping Carrie try on her shoes at 20:54. Richard is in this episode. I forgot he comes back. Miranda was cracking me up when she kept saying Robert was in love with her. I hate that Samantha went with Richard over Smith, and then her crying in the elevator, and then she cries to Smith. I'm just like, oh my goodness. I told you guys, I always seem to love the characters that run away from happiness. I don't know what that's about. In episode 14, my favorite girls always propose to their boyfriends. Lorelai, Miranda, I feel like there's another example somewhere, but I cannot remember. I totally agree with Miranda. I wouldn't care about all the extra stuff. A wedding is just about saying you want to be with the person you love. I was cracking up with the food poisoning. Samantha finds out she has cancer while getting a consult for a boob job. We won in this episode with Miranda and Steve. We got both. They're married and we got to see their kid. In a previous video, I was talking about Steve's mom, and this episode just taught me that Steve's mother always gives unnecessary information. So maybe I was wrong. In episode 15, Steve and Miranda are having a honeymoon. Samantha is trying to get a better doctor and tells Smith she found out she has cancer. And Carrie and Charlotte are watching Brady. It's so cute seeing Carrie take care of Brady. They changed the baby actor for Brady again. And Steve trying to wash Miranda's hair, and then the cut to like Miranda having a meltdown on the phone was hilarious. In episode 16, Charlotte is having trouble getting pregnant but is trying to be optimistic. Miranda and Steve are planning to move, and Samantha is beginning to see hair loss from her chemo. I admire how Carrie acknowledges what Sam is going through. Samantha shaves her hair, and I cannot express how happy it made me to see Smith just be there for her. Charlotte gets a puppy. The rat crawling in Carrie's hair sent me through the roof. In episode 17, Charlotte enters her puppy Elizabeth Taylor in a dog competition, and the puppy gets her period, then her dog gets pregnant while at the park. Samantha's dealing with having rumors spread about her in the tabloids. After discovering Samantha's dance audition tape, Miranda ends her gossip magazine fascination. In episode 18, Carrie is invited by the Russian to go to Paris, and she decides to go. Charlotte's dog is pregnant and gives birth in the same episode. Miranda's having trouble with the news of Carrie moving to Paris. I understand why Miranda's upset, because Carrie is changing everything for some man that she literally hasn't even known more than 5 months. In episode 19, Carrie runs into Big waiting for her outside her apartment. I cried for Carrie when she yelled at Big. I know inside like it broke her heart to let him go. To be fair, Big didn't know she was in a relationship, but I understand why she had to do it. She had to protect herself for once and break old habits. Charlotte crying at their dinner ripped me up, and then everyone was crying. It was really sad. When everybody started crying, that's when I started crying. Big leaves a voicemail and the girls meet up with Big. When Miranda said, "Go get our girl," I screamed. In the last episode, Steve and Miranda find out Steve's mom has had a stroke, and she moves in with them. Smith is leaving for a film. I think when Carrie's necklace comes off, it's almost like they're trying to say that he took her very essence. That's what I got from it, because I feel like that necklace represents just Carrie as a whole. They've mentioned it so many times throughout the series. Alexander accidentally slapped Carrie, and the way that Big was ready to slap him into another dimension. I loved seeing Big and Carrie laughing. Big finally tells Carrie she's the one, and Charlotte finally gets her baby. Oh my God, I was so happy about that. I couldn't stop crying this whole episode, especially when Magda came and told Miranda that she knows what she did, and she just, oh my God. This show was just really it was tugging on my heartstrings the whole time, and I could not stop crying. I could not stop crying. Like I said at the very beginning of this whole little 3-part thing I've done here, I'm always emotional every time. Like it's the last last episode, I feel like I'm saying goodbye to my friends. And even though I can literally just start the show over again from the beginning, like it's not like they're going anywhere literally, and it's not like they even exist, but it's just like, I don't know, I get so sad whenever a show ends, because, you know, especially because you know that version of the show has come to an end. So the thumbnail for this video says, why couldn't we love the ending, or why we don't love the ending. I don't remember which one I put, but I feel like we couldn't love the ending completely, not because it wasn't sentimental enough, not because it didn't pay homage to certain things. I do feel like they could have probably reference some more things from the past, but the main reason is obviously because the whole thing with Big, even though they've been building it up this entire time, I think a lot of people still really did not want Big, and that's something I think a lot of you guys should comment down below and let me know why you guys did not want Big, because I know that that's the consensus on a lot of people's minds towards the end of the show, that Big just felt rushed and they didn't like that Big was the one that she ended up with because of all the terrible things that he put her through, and he did put her through a good bit of stuff, so I don't disagree. I'm glad it was Big for the sense of familiarity, because we already kind of know their history, but then it's like, it's almost like he got rewarded for being a jerk for 6 seasons, and it's like almost like she settled in a way too. So I get it. I get why people don't want Big, and I get why people were upset at the fact that she ended up with Big. A question I had for myself that I think I want to answer at the end of every single series that I try to do on here: do I have any opinions I feel differently on when I started the series? Yes. I feel like I want to go character by character about how I feel. With Miranda, obviously she's my favorite character in this show. I don't feel like my opinion on her has changed that much. Like, I still love her as much as I did in episode 1. I do wish that they would have expanded more with her character and made her date more than just men. I feel like they were so hard pressed on like her being straight, especially like in the early seasons, and then, you know, it just felt like they could have definitely explored that more, but maybe they didn't because, you know, of the time. Like, maybe they didn't know how well that would be received or if that would make or break the show, so they chose not to. My opinion on Carrie isn't as harsh, I think, as it was when I first started doing this series, reviewing the show. With the help of people leaving comments and kind of giving her a little bit more depth, it does help me understand why people like her. You know, I think people like flawed characters, which is something I have discussed before. I definitely disagree with the majority of the decisions that she makes, but there are now aspects to Carrie's character that I have grown to like to a certain extent. I have always loved Samantha. I think she is one of the most phenomenal characters on television because I think at the time she was so ahead of her time, and what she was then now represents a lot of my generation, which is so interesting to see because, you know, how could someone have predicted that we were gonna have this hookup culture and, you know, just the way that we operate in the dating world. I think she represents a lot of that, which is like I said, she's just so ahead of her time. Do I agree with every single thing that Samantha has done? No, not necessarily, but I definitely love her, and I'm so excited to get one more glimpse of her in the reboot. My opinion on Charlotte, I feel like, honestly, one regret that I have about this series is that I do feel like in the beginning I was really hard on Charlotte, and it's not just about Charlotte, it's just me just not liking super judgy people, which is ironic considering the fact that I like Miranda. But my opinion on Charlotte definitely always is changed by the end of the show. Like, I always start off the same way, like not liking her how she was in the earlier seasons, and then towards the end I'm always like, man, like that's my girl. It's just funny because you really get to see her character development throughout the series. She blossoms into this real person, and that's the side of Charlotte that I'm so glad Harry was able to bring out. Once she chose someone real, someone who really made her feel something over someone that just looked good on paper, that's when I really loved Charlotte the most. In the last video, I discussed trying to turn my style moments into like their own separate videos. I don't know if I'll do that in the future. I honestly tried it out and realized that I'm not well versed in fashion etiquette or fashion vocabulary, so it would literally just be a video of me doing what I'm about to do, which is just saying, in episode 1 I like this, in episode 2 I like this, in episode 3, you know, and I don't really feel like that is worth me making an entire video out of. So instead of wasting your time, let's talk about some style moments. I love Carrie's first outfit in 601. Miranda's hair at lunch in 601 looked great. Charlotte's hair during her talk with Harry. Charlotte's corset at dinner in the beginning of 602. Carrie's red dress in the beginning of 603. Charlotte's hair at the purse thing in 603. Samantha's hair in 607. The girl at 9:30 in 607. I don't know why, but she just really stuck out to me. Charlotte's club outfit in 607. Charlotte's wedding dress in 608. Miranda's hair at the wedding in 608. Harry's hair walking with Charlotte in 609. In 6B, I love that we we got long-haired Carrie back. I love that because of Samantha's storyline, we get to see Samantha in a bunch of different looks. Did not really care for the afro look too much, but we're gonna move past that. Carrie's dress in 607 was phenomenal. Like, I loved everything about it. And Carrie's blue dress in 608. This show means a lot to me. It's connected me with people and has such a cherished place in my youth because of the lessons it taught and the way it caused me to ask questions within myself about my life and how I approach situations. In the next installment, we'll get into the first Sex and the City movie. Then in the next one, we'll be talking about the second movie. And then it'll be time to start talking about the reboot. Till next time, my little doves. Stay tuned for some moments that I thought were funny.
Your mother?
Charlotte had had her fill of potential husbands and their demanding mothers.
What? I can feel you reacting. Hi, Steve.
I think you're overreacting to that thing that never happened.
If you think I'm overreacting here, you should be inside my head.
We don't talk of Steve-O anymore.
Thought if I changed his name.
Steve!
I sit on, and then nothing.
Oh, no!
Yes.
Is that the saying?
That's my saying.
Oh. Okay, what's going on there?
Who needs a balding 38-year-old boyfriend with erectile dysfunction when you can have a new career and cute cater waiters?
I'm not exactly thrilled that our baby is having sex already, but I sure am glad he's using protection.
My God, I wanted this one. We're perfect.
Come on, Granny. I'll take you to the early bird special.
It hurts. No, it was not good for me. You know, pound, 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 pound.
You made it.
Oh, hi. I'd better...
Hop to it.
Size bed, huge tub. We can have breakfast before I leave.
If I'd known you were just using me, I wouldn't have made love to you like that.
Motherfucker.
Don't say F.
The day I got arrested for smoking a doobie. I said doobie. It's great.
Then you wouldn't...
Stop. You're killing my buzz.
I
never would have had Brady.
Oh.
I'm not finished. Carrie, don't bogart the split.